It's only when something really bad happens in our lives we actually started taking things seriously. Otherwise, what we do is to take them for granted, right? This body for granted. It operates without you thinking about it, so you're taking it for granted. But it speaks a language. And what is this language? It's called symptoms. Every single symptom is the body communicating with you. But we have learned to not pay attention. We have learned to normalize every single symptom that this body is feeling. This is already a symptom, all right? And how it works, we have the symptoms, we have the conditions, and we have the diseases. You walk 5 meters into the forest as a symptom. You didn't pay attention, it's gonna convert to a condition. 10 meters into the forest. You didn't pay attention, it's gonna become a disease. 15 meters into the forest. And then you have to walk 15 meters back. We have not learned to hear the first step, the symptoms. We're so disconnected from this breathing being. And this is the one that is gonna lead your life. I was in Lisbon for 2 weeks and we got some apples. And I cut the apple and it stayed white for 24 hours. That's what we eat. Your cell, as it's rounded like this, is accumulating of toxins, mucus, heavy metals, all around its being. And it's not anymore a cell, so the body does not recognize it as its own being and start attacking it. So the main cause for every imbalance in this body is toxicities. All my symptoms, all my conditions and my diseases went away when I start cleansing this body. When I start cleansing these cells, all the mucus and toxins that were attached outside of it, altering the vibration of my cell, vibrating low, vibrating in toxicity, in low frequencies, manifesting more chaos into my life. Many people nowadays do liver detox, they do parasite detox, and then a month later, they're on the same spot. We have free radicals, which most of the people do not even know what free radical is. This is your life force energy, and I'm going to explain what it is. It's also getting affected. And then you have your gut health. Your gut health has an axis from the gut to the brain. A healthy gut, you're going to have a healthy brain. So those 5 blocks are the beginning of a domino effect. The moment started getting imbalanced, you started manifesting diseases. So when we're doing these cleansing journeys, we don't really care about what's happening here. You really need to go to the root of it, here. So when you do a parasite cleanse, which is this block, and you're not taking care of these 2 in the beginning, a month and a half later, you're going to be on the same spot. Because you need to increase the alkalinity of your body. You need to excrete the toxins and mucus from your body. So how do we repair those 5 blocks? This is really, really important. Toxins and mucus and how the water comes in place. Water is medicine. It's not here for your hydration only. It's not here for only when you feel thirsty. It's here to repair your body on a daily basis. The Creator was really smart. He gave us something that is in abundance in this earth for us to keep this body every single day cleansed. And you know how? The minerals in the water are the ones that do 2 things in your body. Every day you go to bed, they bond with toxins and mucus in your body, and you pee them in the morning, as long as your lymphatic pathways are open to excrete. And second, what they do, they transfer the water molecules on a cellular level. If minerals are not in the water, you just drink and you pee. You're not detoxing your body, and you're not hydrating on a cellular level. So you are constantly dehydrated as fuck. Water is there for that purpose. It's medicine. You are medicine. You're 99.9% water molecules. You are medicine. What is alkaline water? It's water rich in minerals, right? That's why we should be drinking alkaline water. The water that is rich in minerals is helping our bodies every day that you go to bed to do all these processes. You need 8 hours sleep for this body to repair and restore. That's why you need to go to bed. There's all these processes that are happening during sleep without you interfering the processes. Every day, this mind wants to do something, and you go and you do so many different things, and then you're not thinking about this body, so the body needs a break. so it goes to sleep for 8 hours to do the processes inside that needs to do. But are you giving it the water it needs to do the processes? No. Your brain cells communicate with one another through water. That water is in a gel form. And it gives palpitations like this to one another. To create a thought, like to create a habit, you need the pathway to be created. This pathway between one neuron to another needs 72 hours. Okay? But how this is going to communicate with each other if they are covered in toxins and mucus? Alzheimer, Parkinson. Okay? And then we name it autoimmune disease. Then the second part is the free radicals. So inside your cell, right here, you have a lot of atoms, right? Inside your atoms is your DNA. And these atoms come in pairs of electrons. Right? This is a stable atom. These electrons inside your atom is your electricity. That's why you get electrified when you're touching a plug. These electrons is your life force energy. And so what happens? The more acidic the body, the more toxins, these electrons leave. And then you're chronic fatigue and low energy. Why? There are no electrons in your body. Do we know how we bring more electrons into our bodies? Foods rich in antioxidants are triggering the natural antioxidants in your body and donating extra electrons to the cells inside your being, your life force. Parasites are entities in the body. They live in, they're separate to you. They're entities in the body that are vibrating really low. And they're getting fed by the acidity of the body and the toxins and the mucus and the build-up, the candida in your body. They're getting fed from that, and they have a brain, they have an appetite. So your cravings, pizza, sugar, gluten, things that they're not coming from the earth. They're not natural. It's not you talking. If you ever cleanse properly from parasites, you will see massive difference in your brain, on your thoughts. They control your thoughts. There is an axis from your stomach to the brain, and they send thought signals in your brain saying feed me through excessive amount of cravings. It's not you who wanted the pizza, it's not you who wanted the ice cream, it's not you who wanted all the junk food. It's the parasites talking within you saying, now I need my food and you need to feed me. And also what else they're doing, they hijack you on your emotions. They also sit here in your heart space. And because they vibrate low, in a low frequency, they're gonna hook you here when you're sad, when you're grieving, when you're betrayed. They're gonna hook you there and you're gonna be swirling down in a chicken soup for many days. So if you ever properly cleanse from parasites, you will see massive, massive difference to your being. Your true self will come forward without being hijacked by anything else. No other entities besides this clean body here and your true self and communication with the divine. When you do a liver detox, of course you're going to feel more energy, you're going to feel more clarity, you're going to be like, whoa, wow, I felt amazing. And 10 days later you feel the same again. It's like, oh, when I hear very often, when I did a cleanse, I felt amazing. A successful cleanse is not a completion of the 3 days water fasting, for example. It's not the completion of your liver detox, it's how you feel after. Right? And then we have gut health. So imagine all these processes and imbalances starting happening in the body. The microbiome in your stomach is being affected. Your body is so much in imbalance that cannot digest and receive these nutrients in a proper way. So your gut health is key. It's a second brain. You have three brains, your brain here, your heart brain, and your stomach brain. So when we're cleansing, we're not just doing a detox, we're repairing all these 5 blocks one by one at the same time. So you can bring that restoration and balance in this breathing being. Most people don't even know how sick they are unless they initiate a cleanse, but a proper cleanse. Unless you initiate a fasting journey with water, because water is associated with your emotions, and you can do a lot of shadow work, you will have no idea how sick this body is. Because the moment you initiate a fast, all these withdrawal symptoms will come up on the surface, and you're going to be sick. And people freak out. It's like, oh my God, this fast, ruin me, I'm even more sick. No. You're giving space to this body to excrete the dirt. So nature always it seeks to go back to balance, right? In homeostasis, everything in nature. This breathing being does exactly the same. It's seeking to go back to balance in homeostasis 7 pH and above. But we're not giving the right environment to it. So it's suffocated. So what is the 5 most dangerous chemicals that you're putting in your body? It's refined sugar, fluoride in the water, vaccines, heavy metals, and seed oils. Stay away. Okay? And the 5 indicators that you need to cleanse is bloating, constipation, fatigue, candida. That's like the little symptoms when you start in the beginning. I'm not even talking about manifesting a condition or a disease. This is a different story, a different way of healing. But if you're feeling these symptoms, you need to take action, because these symptoms in 10 years, 5 years, it will become a condition. So when we're doing these cleansing journeys, and that's why I'm saying water fasting is a mama umbrella of cleansing mind, emotions, and body. The body starts scanning the whole system to find energy. And what it does, it goes and scans the zombie cells, the ones that are not performing well, the ones that are holding toxins, smokers, emotional suppression, and eats them for energy. This process picks up on the 48 hour and it's complete by the 72 hour. In that window, the body has rejuvenated. The body has eaten all the bad cells and has been left with the good cells. And that's the process of rejuvenation in your body. Excreting toxins constantly, bringing more electrons into your cells, and rejuvenating. So when you're left with only good cells, every 28 days, the stem cells come into place, and they do that. They create a new cell, 28 days, every 28 days, okay? Does the 28 remind you of something? The moon. That's why we're fasting over the moons. Every 28 days, the stem cells come in, they create new cells. But if you have fasted and you have already the zombie bad ones being excreted and you've been left with the good ones, imagine what's happening in your body. An incredible amount of healing and rejuvenation. Inside your cells is the DNA, all right? 2 strands here and 2 strands like here. It's protecting the DNA. The moment that strand is over, you die. It's done. Your DNA is exposed and it's the end of your life in the physical form of this being. How this strand becomes faster, smaller, is by the toxicity in your body. Because the more toxicity in the body, the more stem cells come into place to create more cells in your body. So that production of cells, it's much higher than what is supposed to be for this strand at the end to be on a healthy pace of coming to its end. So how do you bring this back to balance in the amount of how many cells being created in this body to delay aging? That's exactly what's happening by fasting. 3 days water fast. It's going to protect the amount of that telomerase going down, and it's going to bring the generation of new cells in a healthy balance. And that's how the emotional cosmos and your energetic body comes in place and is interconnected with your physical body. Your liver is holding anger. Your kidneys are holding fear. Your lungs are holding sadness. Your spleen is all the worries. And so imagine now you have a physical body you're not really taking care of, and then you have an emotional cosmos suppressed in emotions. What is going to happen? It's going to manifest it as something. People having lower back conditions and problems are people mainly worried about finances. People who have cancer is people who cannot let go of the past. Things that have happened in the past, they cannot let it go. People who have heart conditions are people who are struggling with intimacy. All these alcoholic people, why they're angry? They can't control their anger. because the liver is so much affected by the alcohol that the emotion of anger is going to be amplified in their lives. So when we're born, we have 3 needs: to be fed, to be loved, and to be touched. And how those 3 needs have been taken care of by our parents will determine how you live your life later. Okay? I had a conversation recently about somebody saying, I'm still having an obsession with alcohol, but I'm having a healthy diet. I'm eating healthy. And I was trying to explain that the biggest obsession is food and addiction. No matter how healthy you eat, if you still have an obsession and addiction towards cigarette and alcohol, it means you're still masking yourself and your emotions with something. So there's still something there bubbling up. You can't turn the alcohol into something healthy, but you can control your eating habits by eating junk to turning into a healthy diet. A healthy being who has not having an addiction to food and that connection, how has been fed in his early lives between 0 to 6, would never have a healthy diet. Who is dieting? I'm making conscious choices about what is good for my body, is the right language. And remember always, the subconscious runs the show. How we speak and the words we use is the key and the clue where to look at. So a healthy being who is in tune with this body and knows exactly its language, and when it's real hunger and it's not emotional hunger or parasite hunger, but it's truly coming from your body, knows how to eat well. And when you have choices in front of you, you know which one to reach out to, because you have answers to all these whys, how this body works. So from that knowledge, you make different choices. I am nourishing this body, I'm not dieting. So what cleansing journeys do, and that's my favorite part, it's a fast track into shadow work. If you really want to take the opportunity to connect with yourself and what is bubbling up for you to see, fast for 3 days, but sit with your shit. Okay? Because normally what they do, you have 2 channels during fasting. One is uncomfortability that comes up because emotions coming up. You're moving the waters of your body. The waters of the body is all your emotions. So you open the lid, you're stirring the pot, and mud is coming up on the surface. And they're not comfortable. I can't. So I'm gonna distract myself, put something on Netflix, speak to a friend. Like, I'm gonna distract myself because I don't wanna deal with these things that are coming up. One way is this. But you're missing a great opportunity to actually sit and understand and ask the right questions. What is this that's coming up now, up on the surface for me? So cleansing is 20% the physical body and 80% on your emotional cosmos. You do medicine plans. I am a big fan of medicine plans. You go somewhere else and it shows you where to do the work. And then you come back from the trip and you have to go into your real life. You have to implement these things. And fasting, if you pay attention to what is happening and bubbling in, and it comes up to your awareness, because that's what we do, we bring a lot of awareness to what is happening right here. The choices we make, the hunger, the emotional cosmos. So when you sit there and you fast and the anger comes up or whatever is coming up, you're making a shift in the present moment. Do you understand the difference between making a shift in the present moment, right now? Because you are fully aware that I am working on this betrayal. I'm working on this anger. I'm working on something. And now, here and now, in that present moment, my 3D reality, I can make a change. As long as you stay present in the process and you have full awareness of what is happening here, physical body, emotional cosmos.
And it's good to have all the spectrum of emotions. That's why we're here. We have a spectrum, and our school and lesson is how to transmit and move from one spectrum to another, passing through your heart. Have you ever considered that the the water has a pH scale, and it has acidic, 7 alkaline. And here's your chakra. The heart space is the middle, the neutral. It's what is neutralizing, it's transmitting. This area, the lower chakra, is your humanist, your lower frequency vibrations, anger, worries, sadness. That's why they're sitting in this area of your body, in these organs. And then anything that happens in your life, all we need to know is to manipulate energy. An emotion is just an energy that needs to run its course, move through the heart to upper chakras of love, compassion, joy, happiness. And this is how we navigate life, this way. We're not sticking in this part forever. We're experiencing it and we're transmuting it. And this is through cleansing the inner waters. The water is holding information. And why it's called consciousness? One water molecule, imagine one drop of water is a cluster, it comes in clusters of molecules together. One water molecule, it holds 1 terabyte of information.
The most potent energy is the sexual energy, and you feel it in your being, you feel it in your body, right? It runs. I feel it, you feel it, right? It runs everywhere. In your arms, in your chest, you're building up, and then there is an organs, and then there are fireworks in your head, and it's amazing, everything, and then it fades out. This is an energy that runs through your body, and it completed its course. It's the same thing that happens with every emotion. We need to allow those emotions to run through the body, have its peak, and then fade out. When they have this peak, our nervous system is not so dysregulated that when it reaches the peak, we're not feeling comfortable. And what do? You know that. What do? What do? We're eating out the food to suppress it down because we are not familiar with this humongous energy that's building up within us. Could be sadness, it could be happiness. I had a client, she fasted with me, and then we're breaking the fast with liver detox, and then she held a women's circle. And I always say to my people, bring awareness into your being every single moment. In every emotion that you're running through your body, bring awareness and see how you feel about it, how comfortable you are in its peak, and what you do in that moment unconsciously. Grasp it before you reach out to that. Hold yourself and allow this to run. She was experiencing an enormous amount of bliss. So it's like, oh my God, I can't really handle this. It's so good, but my nervous system doesn't know how to handle this. And her first time was like, oh, I'm gonna go and get some food. But because we were walking very close to our cleansing journey, so it's like, no, Violetta said, I need to bring awareness and stop for a moment and allow things to run their course. If she had reached out to food, that bliss sensation that she was feeling, it will only last for an hour. But allow it to run its course, and it lasted for 24 hours. So imagine if all of us allowing these beautiful emotions of happiness, joy, allow to run the course, how much more happier we will be if you are connected with this being here, your home. And you know how to translate its language when it speaks to you. The same is with the other spectrum of the emotions, sadness and grief. You need to allow them to run its course. If it takes you 3 days, it takes you 3 days. If it takes you a month, it takes you a month. But learn to get yourself out of the chicken soup, right? And lift yourself up and to just dissociate yourself from that emotion. In somatic practice, we learn that for an emotion to run through the body, it needs only 90 seconds. The rest is in our heads. Attachments to stories that we cannot leave them, you cannot let them go. Manifestation. Everybody's doing these affirmations and they're trying to manifest things in their lives. How affirmation work? For your brain to create a new pathway, like I said earlier, it needs 72 hours. So you say, I'm beautiful, I'm loved. This to create as a pathway that communicates in your brain in 72 hours. To embody that and becomes second nature, it needs 28 days. Okay? So when we're having a habit, We say, okay, I want to eat healthier, right? And I want to give up on sugar. I want to give up on gluten. You need 28 days. Those 21st 8 days, they are most important for you to manifest and create anything in your life. So pay attention to these things, and especially understand how the pathways in the brain works for you to create these new ways of thinking. Everybody has access to this information. Everyone. We are all the same. We're all sharing the same body, the same functionality, and the same consciousness. Get this power back into your hands and understand how to use it powerful for your own being, to be connected with this body and with your intuition, your consciousness, your divine feminine, masculine energy, with everything together. We all have broken hearts. When we're born, from 0 to 6, we navigate the world from the heart. We're not navigating from the mind. The heart is leading the way. That's why you see all these happy, beautiful kids being enormously driven by the hearts. And then all we have broken hearts at some point in our lives for different reasons. Okay, a heartbreak, somebody passed away, whatever that is. For each one of us, the story is different, the emotion is the same. So in your heart, in the physicality of your heart, outside there is a tissue. Every time your heart gets broken, that tissue has a scar. Every time you're fasting, you're repairing that scar tissue by wearing it off. And the communication in your heart, it's like lifting the veil. It's like something covering your heart. And it's like lifting the veil and come closer to this. So you are starting leading your life from this space, not from this space. This goes away slowly. The ego fades away. You get more clarity in life, more purpose. That's the reason why it's called spiritual practice. To find your purpose, to find clarity, to bring balance to this body and lead from your heart. So this part here in ancient Greece, it's called aesthesis. And this word, what it means to breathe in. When you see something that really speaks to your heart, what you do, you take a breath in here. You do that, right? Wow. You breathe in. That breath in goes here in your heart, because you are communicating with this beat and it's touching you deeply here. So all these symptoms, language, sensations, vibrations that this body is giving us is for us to come closer to this home and build that communication.